Hello and welcome to TTV News with some latest events in TayNinhTV province and across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, as previously reported, on June 6, Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee and Chairman of the Provincial Business Council Nguyễn Mạnh Hùng, who also serves as the head of the Steering Committee for Social Housing Development and Housing Support Policies for Policy Beneficiaries in the province, share and deliver a directed speech at the conference summarizing two emulation movements. TayNinhTV joins hands for the poor, leaving no one behind, and joining hands to eliminate temporary and dilapidated houses in TayNinhTV province by 2025. At the same conference, many collectives and individuals were commended for their outstanding achievements in implementing these emulation movements.
With the results achieved so far, the Secretary Nguyễn Mạnh Hùng emphasized the need to continue focusing on communication efforts, raising the public awareness and community responsibility, and strongly mobilizing the social resources for the joint hands in poverty reduction and the elimination of temporary and dilapidated housing. The goal is to ensure that by the end of 2025, and with a vision towards the 2026 to 2030 period, the province will achieve the targets set out in alignment with the directives of both the central government and the province. At the conference, the Provincial People's Committee awarded certificates of merit to collectives and individuals for their outstanding contributions to the emulation movements.
Ladies and gentlemen, after more than 4 months of focused implementation, by April 29, 2025, TayNinhTV had fully completed 100% of its plan, handing over a total of 697 houses, with total funding exceeding 60 billion Vietnam dong for poor households, near poor households, and those with meritorious service to the revolution in the province. With this result, TayNinhTV is proud to be one of 15 localities nationwide to complete the goal of eliminating temporary and dilapidated housing ahead of the April 30 deadline. As early as the end of 2024, TayNinhTV swiftly established a steering committee to carry out the elimination of substandard housing across the province. It reviewed an issue to support scheme for building and renovating homes for poor and near-poor households according to provincial poverty standard and for individuals with meritorious service to the revolution, totaling 697 houses with construction and repair costs approaching 59 billion Vietnam dong. To ensure adequate resources for implementation, on December 26, 2024, the Provincial Steering Committee launched the emulation movement, eliminating temporary and dilapidated houses in TayNinhTV. The campaign received strong community support, with over 183 organizations and individuals contributing more than 50 billion Vietnam dong. TayNinhTV is proud to be one of 15 localities to complete the goal of eliminating temporary and dilapidated housing ahead of the April 30, 2025 deadline, coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the Southern Liberation. We are also honored to be among the 16 provinces providing support levels higher than the central government standard. The central standard for building homes for the poor is 60 million Vietnam dong per house, while the province provided 90 million. For those with meritorious service, the central standard is 60 million, but the province provided 160 million. When we reported this to the central government, we gave very high praise. The people's happiness is indescribable. When you do this kind of work, you rarely feel the joy. Many people said, I've been renting or living temporarily for more than 10 years and never thought I had ever have my own house. Now we truly solve the root of the problem. To improve living conditions, the province has been innovative, increasing the area of the rich unity houses from the standard 32 square meters to 40 square meters, investing in modern infrastructure, enhancing living quality, green space, and smart amenities. This affirms the province's determination to improve quality of life and build a civilized, modern, and sustainable community. I propose that departments and localities focus their efforts so that by the end of 2025, there will be no households below the national poverty line. From 2026 to 2030, we must try to maintain this status under the new national poverty standards. The Provincial Party Committee and its Standing Committee will continue to lead and direct departments and localities to review and allocate resources and to mobilize societal contributions to continue supporting those still in need of housing, ensuring they truly settle down and thrive. It can be said that poverty reduction and social welfare efforts are key indicators of the locality's fair and sustainable development. With a tradition of solidarity and compassion, TayNinhTV will continue to support the poor and vulnerable, building a society where no one is left behind. On the morning of June 6, Deputy Head of the Central Commission for Communication and Mass Mobilization, Mr. Phạm Tất Thắng, chaired the June 2025 National Reporter Conference, which was held in both in person and online, connecting to more than 2,700 locations across the country. Attending the conference at TayNinhTV Province, there were Ms. Nguyễn Thúy Oanh, Head of the Provincial Commission for Communication and Mass Mobilization, along with the Province Team of Information Officers.
The Hoàng Lê Kha Youth Volunteer Company of TayNinhTV, established on November 23, 1965, was a leading unit in the Southern Liberation Youth Volunteer Corporation and completed many difficult missions with the spirits of selfless service, brave volunteerism, and glorious achievements. And Mr. Phạm Hồng Thái expressed their gratitude for the contributions of generations of youth volunteers, especially the company of C2311, and encouraged the younger generation to continue building the homeland. On this occasion, the Central Association of Former Youth Volunteers of the Vietnam awarded 16 commemorative medals, and the Provincial Youth Union Standing Committee and the Provincial Former Youth Volunteer Association presented 41 gratitude gifts to the former youth volunteers.
Dear audience, on the morning of June 6, Permanent Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee and Head of the National Assembly Delegation of TayNinhTV Province Phạm Hồng Thái attended and delivered a speech at the ceremony commemorating the 60th anniversary of the founding of the Hoàng Lê Kha Youth Volunteer Company in TayNinhTV. The event was organized by TayNinhTV Provincial Youth Union in coordination with TayNinhTV Provincial Association of Former Youth Volunteers. At the conference, after presentations on key topics such as combating smuggling, jailrot, and cultivating goods, the law on participation in the United Nations peacekeeping forces, and current public healthcare efforts, Mr. Phạm Tất Thắng urged reporters to focus on promoting socio-economic development tasks for the first 5 months of 2025, coverage of party congresses at all levels leading up to the 14th National Party Congress, reporting on the night session of the 15th National Assembly and the elections for the 16th National Assembly and local people's councils for the 2026-2031 term, as well as resolutions of the Politburo, foreign affairs activities of party and state leaders, major holidays, and the implementation of important resolutions and directives during the new development phase. Ladies and gentlemen, according to TayNinhTV Province 2025 plan for restructuring commune-level administrative units, as well as the resolution of the Provincial People's Council approving this policy, the roadmap for the restructuring of commune-level administrative units is scheduled for completion by June 30, 2025. With only a short time remaining, civil servants and public employees across communes, wards, and towns in the province are now well prepared for the restructuring. Local residents are also supportive and reassured by the direction of the plan.
According to the plan, from July 1st of 2025, TayNinhTV will reduce the number of commune-level administrative units from 94 to 36 and consisting of 10 wards and 12 communes, and at about 61.7% reduction, aligning the central government's directives. And at the People's Committee of Ward 3 TayNinhTV City on the activities continue as usual, albeit with a heightened sense of urgency, and officials have been briefed on the key documents related to the restructuring process, boosting awareness and responsibility in serving the public after the transition. With the consolidation into a new administrative unit, the workload will definitely increase, and I know I'll have to try even harder. At the People's Committee of Thái Bình Commune of Châu Thành District, the working atmosphere is also one of the focus and enthusiasm. All the staff are striving to fulfill their assigned duties before merging with other local units. The commune has created the conditions for the staff to receive training in professional tasks and ensuring the better performance in the future. As for the common preparation for the merger, we have been organizing and systematizing everything neatly. And by March of 2025, all files were sold for handover to the new administrative unit. Meanwhile, administrative services for residents have continued smoothly and uninterrupted, and this has helped to foster public confidence and satisfaction. I know the news about the merchants on TV and fully support the government's decision, and I hope administrative procedures will become more efficient. And through the restructuring will inevitably have some impact on the residents. Both the central and local governments have provided instruction and assigned responsibility to relevant departments to minimize disruption. In a sense, this restructuring aims to improve the quality of public service delivery, and in the long term, reorganizing the commune-level administrative units will help ensure the geographic consistency, resource integration, and more effective local governance. And this also brings government closer to the people, ensuring the proximity and responsiveness.
In mid-2025, activities in the province saw positive signs. The supply of goods remains stable, fully meeting the essential needs of residents. According to the Department of Industry and Trade, retail sales across the province reached nearly 8.7 trillion Vietnam dong, a slight increase from the previous month and up 13.7% compared to the same period last year, indicating steady and growing consumer demand. Essential goods were adequately supplied without shortages or unusual price fluctuations. Market inspection and control efforts were strengthened, helping stabilize prices, rotate consumers' rights, and foster a healthy business environment.
Since early of 2025, banks and credit institutions in Thailand have actively implemented comprehensive and decisive credit solutions to improve access to capital for individuals and businesses, and contributing to economic growth. And by the end of May, the total mobilized capital is still at 76 trillion Vietnam dong, up to 2.7% from the beginning of the year, and the total outstanding loans reached over 108.4 trillion Vietnam dong. The State Bank has maintained the key interest rates to support the low-cost access to capital, and has directed the credit institution to cut operational costs, enhance digital transformation, and adopt other measures to have reduced lending rates.
Tân Bình Community City has just held a ceremony to hand over a Great Solidarity House to Mr. Nguyễn Văn Lô, a poor resident living in difficult housing conditions. His family are relies on a modest income from his job as a security guard, while his wife is a social welfare recipient due to a brain injury. The new 70 square meters house was built with a total cost of 90 million Vietnam dong, fully funded by the city's Friend for the Poor. Fico Cement Company also supports the project with 100 bags of cement. On this occasion, the local authorities and Fico also presented gifts to congratulate the family on their new home. Turn to domestic news. Ladies and gentlemen, Vietnamese Minister of Industry and Trade Nguyễn Hồng Diên and U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer have agreed to hold the next technical round of negotiations on the bilateral trade agreement between the two countries in the first half of June 2025.
During the bilateral meeting in Paris, the two sides reviewed the progress made since the second technical round of negotiations and emphasized the need to enhance online technical exchanges and resolve maintaining differences to ensure the thorough preparation for the upcoming round. Both parties also reaffirmed their commitment to maintaining the close coordination at the high level to achieve a mutual beneficial outcome, and thereby contributing to strengthening of the comprehensive strategic partnership between Vietnam and the United States.
On Tuesday, during its 46th session, the National Assembly Standing Committee approved a resolution on managing full-time National Assembly deputies and their duties. Vice Chairman of the National Assembly Nguyễn Khắc Định emphasized that full-time deputies, whether at central or local levels, are public officials and must comply with relevant laws. He stressed that full-time deputies must focus solely on their parliamentary duties, noting that some have been concurrently teaching or holding positions in various organizations, which is not in line with their designated role. Ladies and gentlemen, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Đỗ Hùng Việt, together with the delegation of Vietnamese representatives abroad for 2024-2027 term, held a working session with FPT Corporation to discuss the group support proposals to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the fields of technology, telecommunications, and education. At the meeting, FPT leaders introduced their key technologies, routers, and AI education programs. Vietnamese ambassadors and consuls general abroad toured FPT's AI Factory Center and FPT University to learn about FPT's artificial intelligence technologies, signature routers, training models, and the scientific, technological, innovation, and digital transformation resources the group is pursuing. FPT expressed a desire to strengthen global connections in technology, telecommunications, and education. FPT aspires to become a new style science and technology education organization. We see promoting economic diplomacy as very important. FPT helps ambassadors can help connect education sectors with university opening in Vietnam. Leading the delegation of ambassadors and consuls general for 2024-2027 visiting FPT, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Đỗ Hùng Việt raised FPT's efforts in general and its leadership's ambition to elevate Vietnamese technology to a global level, enhancing Vietnam's standing in various fields. He stated the ministry will study and consider FPT's proposals to promote economic diplomacy. We represent our developing country abroad, introducing it to the international community and partners. We see this as a key mission of economic diplomacy for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and its overseas representatives to support Vietnamese enterprises in expanding their markets and going global. Regarding FPT's proposals to expand markets for Made in Vietnam technology products overseas and foster educational cooperation with foreign invested universities in Vietnam, Deputy Minister Đỗ Hùng Việt acknowledged them and committed to working with heads of Vietnam representative officers abroad to consider solutions to help realize the aspiration of bringing Vietnamese intelligence to the global stage. And that's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.